Hello, everybody, and welcome on back. So I took a break of all about like 2 minutes and then realized the ancient astronaut theory. Sorry, we were hitting on so close to where we were saying how religion and the whole New World Order and all that good stuff, religion can be all yes. And here's what I mean by that. It can all be correct. It can all be accurate. And not saying like there's only one true God, Allah, and all that, like which is on the Saudi Arabian flag, which I have a Saudi Arabian flag, by the way. I don't have it on display for reasons. I don't have it. I treat it like any flag. I don't let it touch the ground or anything like that. Like, I don't do much with it. I mean, I treat it with respect, and it's stored like prop. Anyways, my point being is like, it's on the flag. It's displayed on the flag in Arabic that there is only one God. And then in a lot of Christianity, well, Christians, Christ, think that Jesus is the God. So, and then Muhammad was just a prophet. So even right there, I'm a little confused with all that because it's like, I thought it was like the War of the Prophets. But really, if you think about it, I don't think they claim Muhammad is like God. It's just the one true prophet, meaning that their version of the same story is correct. Because I feel like it's all human nature to understand ourselves and our creation through all this. So yeah, religion makes sense, and it all like yes, okay. So now then this part, say it's really ancient astronaut theory, and I love Ancient Aliens because of this. I still haven't even watched past the first season, but like I said before, I want to buy it before I watch anymore. So. Because like it's been on TV, it's been on like we used to record them and stuff, and I might have seen some like on the sly, but I don't usually do that. But um, again, like because copyright and license stuff. Just like I worked at a company that they were mad at Microsoft because they hit them with a license thing, and they charged them a lot of money that they didn't have or they didn't account for not paying because they were already not paying the license. Like they were scraping by, trying to and I get it, and like that's why like it didn't work out for me either because they were paying me a lot of money, and I wasn't understanding what they wanted for the job. I was doing a lot of work, but it wasn't what they wanted. And they were too polite to say it until it got to the point where once time came around, it came down to a black or white decision, be like, were they performing at standards according to these metrics? And then they let go like a lot of people just because of their performance. And yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, it was just trying to solve problems with solutions that didn't really work. That's like life in a nutshell. Oh man, there's also, yeah. I feel like I should go and take that out. Or what I can do, this is big brain. Missed, but, oh wait. I believe that works. Oh wait, that's interesting. Oh, it was a non-issue anyway, unless I feel like I'm going, oh, that is interesting. Wait, is it really? Sorry, we talk about like the meaning of life and everything and all this important stuff, and I'm trying to figure out if these bubbles are coming up in the same. Okay, no, they're not. That was residual. So if I did this, oh, and it sucks you down, and then boop, it still sucks you down. Oh, okay. But then, yeah, and I'm gonna get hit from drowning. There you go. So, and again, since I don't have to eat, I can just bob around and do these science experiments and not have to worry about it. Sorry, I'm doing a little imposter syndrome because, like, I'm a Minecraft YouTuber, but I'm not. I'm definitely not a, like, established YouTuber, but I make YouTube videos. I play Minecraft, but I'm in no way, like, an expert, especially compared to Waddle. So I've recreated a lot of his stuff, specifically his Blaze Farm. Oh, that is, like, my favorite piece of any kind of ingenuity in Minecraft. And mind you, I watch Mojangles. No, there's I forget their names, but there's the Redstone guy, and then there's now I feel bad for forgetting his name. It's been a while since I've seen his stuff. Just because I'll watch it and then I'll like build it if I want to, and then not. I mean, it's cool, but I don't know. Anyways, back to religion. That's why I think the ancient astronaut theory is just spot on because it could be all of the above. Like Christianity could be correct, Islam could be correct, Judaism could be correct. I see. Then I say like Hindu. I feel like Hindu is still more of that polytheistic, like explaining things that we don't necessarily understand with personifying the forces behind it. Now, don't get me wrong, the forces are very real, and so that's why it's like saying, and maybe that we're just saying things the wrong way, like not gods, but forces. And really, every god in history that I can think of could also be described as a force. Like all the, you think about, well, at least as far as like Western Civ, like, but even, the elements, or I want to say like Oriental lore, like the dragons and all this. I mean, and then hearing dinosaurs being called dragons, that was interesting. Lauren Boebert said that on the Twitters. She's like, she ranted about dinosaurs being dragons, which already, because of my understanding with bat wings, you can't have dragons without wings, remnants. Like, so I want to say even birds, there's bones in the wings because it has to have structural integrity, but yet the bones have to be hollow. So, okay, well, right there, hmm, see, I don't know. Could the wings have disappeared? Because I didn't think they could have hair either. And I've seen some pretty disturbing pictures of some dinosaurs with hair or feathers. Like now we're hearing that like raptors might have had feathers. Feathers decay. So wait, wings. So I guess it would depend on if we've had fossilized chickens. See, I don't know. And I don't. Are chicken bones? I wouldn't say they're hollow, but then what is hollow too? Because I feel like I've seen a bird bone cracked in half to explain this point, and seen it like on TV or something. I don't know. Or also, we had that Division of Wildlife guy, I think Ray. Or well, sorry, we won't say names, but um, anyways, uh, I know that they're hollow, quote unquote hollow. I don't know to the extent of hollow, because they're lighter so they can fly. But then seeing that image, I want to say it looks like a feather. Like the bones look very similar, like a tubular shape. And the people that haven't seen a feather, it is like a pen. Like that's why they used to have quills. Like a certain feather was a hollow tube. So then, okay, right there. Well, if feathers are, ah man, now I'm all confused. And I don't know a lot about dinosaurs. I used to know a whole song about an ankylosaurus, but like a lot of the other like brontosaurus, I feel like is like the big one with the big neck, and then brachiosaur, and I see like and pterodactyl. I know the main ones, but like I don't know. And when you're a kid, because like my kids did too, they knew all these songs. They'd sing along to like Storybots' dinosaurs thing. That's what the ankylosaurus was from. Was a Storybots episode, and on Netflix too. So I had to have an account that I share with family, that I live with on and off like throughout my life. So even then, it's like not even a stretch to be like, have the two accounts. But then I get it. Licenses are expensive, and you got to pay the licenses or get sued. And then they have to remove content. Like they sold The Office to Peacock. So now you're like, now it's like you're selling almost people off into slavery, but it's their careers. Like depending on, and then that's the exposure. Like I don't have Peacock, and I don't think I'll ever watch anything on Peacock for that reason. It's because I have Netflix, and I pay for it now. I mean, I have Disney Plus, and I have PlayStation for all these things, and it's like they add up, and it's like I don't really have a lot of money to be doing that. So it's like you got to balance everything. It's stressful. Or you can go to YouTube, watch ads until you can afford to pay for it, and then pay for it, because that's another thing that I might upgrade for. And I know people that upgrade to YouTube TV, and that pays for some of it, but and also automating copyright strikes. Like I appreciate like them removing or flagging stuff for copyright, but like that Fortnite video I had, it was J Balvin dancing in the ghetto, and I love J Balvin, like, and I would totally like. That's why I'd want to ask his permission. While I haven't, because partly because I asked Wu Tang and I never heard back. And I mean, maybe that's because I might have mentioned something about having a tattoo about them, and then it's like, I don't know how they particularly feel about people having tattoos. But I also knew a guy that worked in a UABA place for people to report to, and he had Sublime on his arm. Although, even as I say that, Sublime is more of a band that I imagine they have a very famous song called Date Rape, so they're quite the social justice advocates. Of course, who isn't? I mean, every musician is like trying to tell you what we all know, but trying to say it in a different way to where it makes sense, to where it syncs up and it synchronizes to being effective. Or I don't know, maybe like playing Minecraft and talking about random nonsense. And this is an inefficient use of synchronization. Like as I get better with YouTube, and I think I'll even do like a Jamboard for it because why not? Like document, and I see a lot of people doing it too. We're all trying to help each other, and we're all trying to stand on each other's shoulders and fix everything. And now it's like exponentially fixing the world. While at the same time, I mean, there's a lot of wealthy inequalities, but you know, it's gonna take time. Oh, that's the thing, though. Is it ever going to get? Because I feel like we're going to keep having these same problems reoccurring if we don't have wealth just redistribution. Ooh, I'm just kidding. No, don't go out and do anything drastic. Like that's the whole point of a lot of this is like we move too quickly when trying to make these changes. There's a lot of friction and a lot of shock, especially if people aren't involved. That's the other thing. We need to make politics very transparent and enjoyable. Like, let's not forget that second part because they're not enjoyable as they are. They're horrible. I hate our politics. Like, it's ridiculous. People get angry, get tired, exhausted, and like people's whole careers get ruined because of their opinions. All those people, like, granted, like they shouldn't have been in the Capitol, but now they're like going to prison for multiple years because of a bad decision. Like, and they're about to find out, like, law enforcement and corrections are kind of needing reform. And I think we are, but then like people are getting pardoned, and if Trump gets president, then like it never mattered anyway, and there was no punishment. Oh, sorry, hold on. Sorry, that's my spiel for like, in what world is that okay where, people can break into the most holy place in our country. Sorry, most respectful, protected. Like, I mean, the only next biggest thing is like the White House, but you know, the White House is one branch of government. The Capitol is a second branch of government. And then if you went to the Supreme Court, like, then you've got the Thanos glove of WTF. Well, that's fine because even though it happened, it happened. The Holocaust happened. I mean, we're trying to prevent these things. Like, okay, now let's learn from it and let's fix it. And so, I don't know. And then I hear Bobert's like broke. And like a lot of Democrats are like, oh, like, yay, and all this. I was like, that sucks. Like, like, dang it. I mean, I disagree with her, but I mean, I liked that she had a restaurant that had like open carry guns. I mean, I thought that was kind of cool actually, because I'm a redneck from up in the mountains where that would be more of like a neighborly thing. Like, okay, get this. We had a cop breakfast actually, where a bunch of in uniform police officers and state troopers would come and have breakfast at Jan's. Like, and that was also the same place that we'd have our football breakfasts and stuff. And like one of the biggest boosters was this guy that ended up stealing and embezzling a lot of money and fleeing like to Mexico or something. Screwed over the town. A lot of people that had houses, like their property deals were like halfway done. And I worked for the company. But I also played football for the team that got a bunch of his benefit, and it was awesome. We all loved him. Like, I mean, but anyways, and that's the thing, because he was a people, he was a person. Like he did people things. Like, and we get shocked, and then people love to read like murder dramas or watch like CSI and stuff. Like, how could someone go so rogue that they would kill somebody? And it's like, and then you start investigating people around you. I'm just kidding, but no, to a point that is true and it is scary. But like, I mean, I got into cybersecurity mostly for the money. I mean, I loved tech and the passion for encryption and stuff. Like, it was just it's puzzles. It's fun. I mean, and I'm all for the patriotic part of it, but then also like the global patriotic part of it. Because I mean, I'm all in it for global security. That's what white hat really is. I mean, gray hat is more a necessity because not all laws are just. And granted, this is Colorado. We got legal weed, so that was like one of the last unjust things I see, because with that, it's a house of cards that comes stumbling down over time. I mean, as soon as it becomes legally nationally or in China, and then if China legalizes it, and then the U.S. has to, like, it's like forcing their hand, and it's a dirty way to do it. But at the same time, like, I've been posting the video of Joe Biden's son smoking crack right next to Joe Biden, a younger Joe Biden, bragging about this law that he helped put in place that punishes people for 5 years for a substance issue. Like 90 days, that's all you need. 90 days, rehab, done. Like, how inefficient is 5 years? And I get it. That's because, like, and I'm on the side that nobody should be smoking crack, but let's make it to where nobody feels that they either have to or that they can. because that's the other thing too. Like you see all the jokes about like wealthy business people doing a bunch of coke. I'm like oh god, like why? Like no. So, ugh, you should not feel too good or too bad to where you start seeking substances. I guess is a good point. And let's talk about Silicon Valley, like microdosing and all of the hallucinogenics that like the smartest people in the world do to like Michael Phelps smokes weed and he's like most decorated person. All these like sciencey, not all of them, but a lot of people that are like great with like advanced algorithms and stuff, they microdose like while they work. I mean, and they definitely smoke weed on the job. And like, I was reading a book about the cyber security. A bunch of pieces of, well, you can get it at the library, The Perfect Weapon, and it outlines a bunch of cybersecurity stuff in world history. That's pretty interesting stuff. And and also points out how it's kind of like a no man's land or no person's land. Like it's kind of like a DMZ where everything's kind of legal but kind of not, and it is kind of considered an attack, but then it kind of, I mean, and it's people being people with each other and different levels of understanding with technology and different levels of understanding with politics, with government, and then outdated, like the U.S. I mean, our hands are pretty bloody with old regime changes. And it's like we were trying to problem solve. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. It depends on your definition of worked. Same with China and helping Africa, but then needing to be paid, like makes sense. I mean, you can't just, get nothing for something or get something for nothing, sorry. And that's a common thing I see people troll about on Bernie's stuff because they're thinking that he's just like only like taking from someone else. But we're already giving. And if we solve the big problems, military, look at all the money that we get, boom, like overnight. Sorry, that was a poor, just like it was a bad shot or something like sorry, like some kind of turn of phrase when talking about gun violence, and be like, well, it was a good shot, but and then be like, ooh, I shouldn't have said that. That's like Family Guy and all the comedy, like cartoons, Simpsons, Futurama, like saying something cringe and then noticing the human behavior and reaction right after it. Yeah, it makes sense. I see that. Oh, and it's funny. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Just thinking about like stoners in TV, and now Keanu Reeves is like, super wealthy, super smart. He does a bunch of TikTok things or not Instagram things. I don't do the Instagram a lot, and it's protected now, so it's like I don't. I mean, I think a couple bots snuck in, but nothing too. And I can't even imagine the people that want to try to use social media like this YouTube. I mean, there's a lot of bots, but I don't know. Instagram seems more personal, and then, I mean, that's how Mark Wahlberg got caught in that one movie. I'm just kidding. Some random movie I saw on Netflix, like, because I do. I mean, I might not have for a while, but anyways. I think I just wanted to hop on here real quick to talk about, like, ancient astronaut theory and religion and how they all could be right. And then incorrect at the same time. Like, we can name, Jedis use the Force. Like, there you go. There's some sci-fi that I live by those principles. Like, I try to be a Jedi, always defense, never attack, help people when possible. It's also the Boy Scout motto. So, like, a lot of these things are just repetitive, people being people. So, I'm sure Girl Scouts is a lot similar, too. My sister went to that. I didn't. I mean, so that's an unknown universe or a parallel universe of understanding. Ooh, start thinking about it that way. Like every plane of existence would be like every different factor or every different. Well, hold on. Because we got Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse and all that. Without spoiling anything of that, because that is a really new movie still. Like even the old one, the older like the multiverse, where you have the cartoon pig. You first see that. So, anyways, uh, uh, so that was the concept that there was more than one reality, more than one everything. And, oh, excuse me, if you're a fan of Stephen King, this was already pointed out in the Gunslinger series, which I love that series. I read the whole series, and I didn't finish the last book for at least a year or two. Like, I read half of it and I just stopped. I just left it there. I was like, nope, I don't want to hear the ending. I don't want to see the end. I don't want it to be done. And it's kind of funny. I accidentally had that happen with my cyber class. Like on the last day when we were presenting our projects and everything, I actually had a horrible migraine, and it wasn't like bailing or copping out or anything. I felt so bad because and I even tried to watch it for a while, but like I was like going blind. I think just stress. I mean, like, something like that. But it was amazing. I mean, it was amazingly horrible, but I mean, it happened. So it was like, all right. I don't know. It's just kind of like I didn't see it through with religion. I didn't see it through with Boy Scouts. Not that I didn't see it through. It was just like I felt like I had enough, and then I was able to move on. Like focus on other things. Focus on other. That's the other thing too. Like I feel like religion. It was great at its time, but like making people go to church every Sunday is kind of like redundant. Like we could kind of cut down on the meetings, but then yet not. Like maybe like once every 2 weeks, maybe once every month, maybe go to the meetings online, but then give donations online. So then you eliminate the need for an extravagant church. Like, modern solutions to problems that we've already kind of solved, but they could be better. I mean, we've solved, like, and at the same time, we're never done solving people's behavior. I mean, that's scary close to like the Matrix with, they can't handle paradise, or the idea of like multiple dimensions of virtual reality. Like we're on the verge, or like in this lifetime. But then even that, like, oof, what if that's real? Like everybody's life just rewinds. Like, just kidding. Reincarnation, all that. No, I'm just kidding. That's all history. We have written history. We have all these accounts, and these are from the days before tech when you couldn't make this stuff up. Like you couldn't forge things. Now, granted, the Bible is under a lot of scrutiny because it does seem like somewhat of a forgery or even an unintended misrepresentation of facts. Because, like I said with the Moses thing, I think that's in the Judean. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot, but and I think a lot of the Jewish faith is like knowing that there's stories to learn, not necessarily like oh this. And then I get hung up on hearing the way that the Bible says stuff like of Cain, then of this Abel, of Joseph, of Mary, of this, of the Derek, of like, and then just like start listing off all these names. And I can't even keep up. I'm just like, who? Like they're all related to this line. Okay, got it. I mean, they could have just had a last name or like, or something. And we use that as a solution to problems. Like, we use last names now to be like, oh, I'm part of this family line. And even then, Irish immigrants had fake last names because they couldn't immigrate legally. So these illegal immigrants came, like some of my ancestors, and then they made up fake names, like possibly my name. Like, so even then, get them llamas. Anyways, no, sorry. That's when like all the crimes. No, that's why GTA is so successful, is because it allows people to see what it's like and then kind of get their fill. And it's also again seen on Rick and Morty with the Purge episode. It's like, and I don't want to do any spoilers, and I have bought that season, all the seasons until the new ones, but I haven't even seen the new ones. I think I've seen the newest one because they do it like if you watch ads on their Adult Swim, you can watch it. So I've streamed a lot of like the new season and just seen it that way on like a rotating schedule, just like the rotating arrays or circular arrays. There you go. So yeah, now we have all these spaces. We're gonna store all these llamas. Now it's like a computer. Like we're saving llamas, and then we're gonna download the llamas to a llama lounge. That's ridiculous. So I have there. Let's heal this up. Continue with the mine, and continue discussing and philosophizing. Philosophizing. Oh, did all the people make it? Or no, that's mashing two Rick and Mortys together. Um, Anyways, I still just want to ditch all this junk. Like, let's actually organize that a little bit. Let's take all the netherrack up, all the dirt, and then, yeah. So this is all the cobblestone. And this can be the dirt. And eventually I'll just move these around or put labels on them. And see, that's computer science in a nutshell, programming, coding. I'll eventually be killing some cows. I apologize to any of my Indian viewers, but like, and see, that's the thing right there. It's like, ugh, how offensive is offensive too? I think it's more offensive that people would do that. Like, it's almost like right near the end of the slave days, all the awkward accidental racism from the Americans that were trying to be polite but didn't know what to refer to people, especially since like we just had these laws that were segregating these people, so we had to pay attention to like, oh wait, so if I'm white, I go here, and if I'm not white, I go here, and they specifically said blacks, but like, and see then it's like I wonder what happened with Asians during that time. See, that's something that I don't remember from school. We learned about this stuff for sure. We watched videos of the whites only fountains, and I paid attention too. So it was drilled in my mind that we were kind of evil for doing that. And we were too. Like this Wanda Sykes meme I saw, she was like, it's not reverse racism if, if non-white people start getting ahead because of things that are supposed to be, or whatever it is, like affirmative action or something, how it's like reverse racist or the theory. And while I understand the phrasing of that, like their attempt, um, ooh, I did, sorry, I gotta put this here. Um, I understand the attempt, but she's right. It's not reverse racism, it's racism. Like someone gaining an advantage because of their skin color or having a disadvantage because of their skin color, it goes both ways. And then she's like, what you're really afraid of is karma, being treated the same as you treated someone else. And that is so true. And even if you didn't treat someone like someone else, the fact that you don't care enough about history to at least acknowledge that, like, hey, as far as economics, and then saying it properly too, because there's a lot of cringeworthy entertainment out there, a lot of examples of human behavior, pretty much. Oh, jeez, is that my like catchphrase now? Examples of human behavior is this, but then make it all nerdy and weird. But no, basically, oh wait, what were we even talking about? Ah, jeez. Now I'm like thinking through the Rick and Morty's and stuff. Yeah, human behavior, just examples of funny things. Or like, oh, okay, I was watching a YouTube video and I saw Airplane, a scene from Airplane, and I was just like, oh, that's one of the best comedy movies ever. And my kids are just like, wait, what? I was like, yeah, I watched that when I was your age, and I did. I watched Airplane, the Naked Gun series. It was my parents. They sat there with me and watched it, so they could explain anything, and then or choose not to explain something. And I just didn't, I mean, I didn't even really ask. I mean, the fact that they were watching it with me, I kind of laughed when they did, but then I didn't know what was going on, so I was just like, all right, whatever. And that's a lot of what we worry about with kids too. I mean, granted, we shouldn't be showing them like really messed up stuff, and even then, like, I don't know, Naked Gun, it does have its moments, but yeah, it has adult content. But then so does music too. Like even if you edit out music, they're still gonna hear like, you know, the, it's like when you're trying to spell in front of kids that don't know how to spell yet, and you're spelling when you're saying things. Well, that only works until they know how to spell, and like once they know how to spell, then it's over. Then they start knowing everything. But I don't know. But you should still be selective of what you expose them to, for sure. Um, oh, for the record, my kids haven't shot guns either. They're past my age of like when I shot guns, but um, no. We use Nerf guns, and we learned gun safety that way. So and that's actually more fun. Although, granted, every time we talked, or we don't anymore. Like just when we first started playing with Nerf guns and playing gun games on like PlayStation and stuff, I explained like the difference between real guns and fake guns. So, but even with the fake guns, there's still rules. Like you can't aim at faces. You gotta always treat it like it's loaded. Never have your finger on the trigger until you're ready to fire. And just those simple things. Like if you always handle a gun like that, it cuts way down on accidental gun violence. Especially like in law enforcement, like people, maybe they weren't ready for an encounter, or and that's why police officers have such a hard job, is because they're always on edge. Like they're always wondering, is today the day? Is today the day, Hector? Like, no, is today the day that I might have to shoot somebody, or somebody might shoot me? It's a very scary thing. I mean, can you imagine doing that like every day? Like, am I gonna get killed today? Like, no. I mean, same with the military. You know, can you imagine going to a place where it's like, wait, can I get shot at today and killed? Like, whew. You know, I worry about those TPS reports and finding a bug in my code. Like, never mind catching a bullet in the face. Oh, yeah, but go to a poor neighborhood. Okay, then you got gang violence like we have in Denver right now. Like, check my watch right now. You know, like we got child soldiers in Darfur. Yeah, as of like I want to say as recent as 10 years ago. Could be, I think it is better, but it's still dangerous. But there's a lot of unrest because people will people. Some people think that they can people better than other people, and then they feel like they deserve to people better than other people. You know, it's, yeah. I keep going back to like the current politics thing, and I don't want to be thinking about it all, but it's like such a double standard. Like, even as it is right now, just like that Trump got fingerprinted, but didn't have to post bond. Like, I'd be even okay if he spent a night in jail and then he posted bond, but he was booked, I thought. Like, they booked him. And I don't know. And like, and even then, a lot of times, like, our booking system is pretty, I mean, well, no, it's horrible, but you know, limited resources and a lot of people coming and going, like police stations or jails, like they process people in like several hours. But then it's also like, because then they have to do all these things behind the scenes. Like, they have to check, like, do they have warrants in other places? They have to do all this paperwork. Granted, they could do the paperwork after the people are booked, but I mean, I think part of that is the punishment. It's meant to be like that. Or maybe it's unintentional. They could do the paperwork whenever they want, but it just depends, like, your booking time depends on a number of factors, which makes sense. But I've just heard so many people say that it at least takes like 12 hours to a day of just sitting in the waiting room till you get booked. So, anyways, it's ridiculous. And that's how we treat people for trying to people. You know, so and it's like the other thing. That's why even with gun rights, even though like I was totally in agreement with this person about like we need better gun rights, but they were taking it too far, and they were like, well, no, I don't think felons should have guns, and it just the blanket thing, felons. It's like that's so many millions of people. I mean, and then you talk about other countries. Anyone who's made a mistake, like short of killing somebody. So that's the thing is like once you get to that, then yeah, you deserve to be punished a bit because it's like those are the main things that you shouldn't be doing, that you shouldn't even be allowed to do. And yet here we are throwing billions and or hundreds of billions of dollars every year. Oh, all right, that's my time. I'll be good on this one. Plus, I've been setting them a little longer, like 31 and 33 minutes. So. All right, now I will take a break. I just wanted to say that is like if ancient astronaut theory is real, we totally could have everything be correct. Like religion could all be true, and we can move on from there. And everybody could still believe what they want. That's the whole idea between the New World Order religion structure. Is like everybody still believes what they want, but we all respect each other and we don't tread on each other's religious beliefs. However, you can't impose things based on religious beliefs. So, and it's a catchy thing, and you know, Saudi Arabia is doing it now. I mean, they had the first female concert in like since the 70s. I mean, yeah, you know, whatever, if they killed the guy or didn't kill the guy, or they killed some other people and didn't kill some people, and they're bombing Yemen. So yeah, I'm concerned about the Yemen thing more than, but even that, like we just did Iraq, Afghanistan, all these places. So yeah, no room to talk. And we could really use that money, like $800 billion a year. We could build houses for everybody and feed everybody and give a car to everybody and give an education to everybody. Like we could fix our country, but we're so busy trying to fix the world, and then we're also making them more paranoid because we fix it best. We people the best. Anyways, I'll leave you with that. Everybody's trying to be people. All right. See you later. Ta ta.